Hey everyone, welcome to our After Dark special. We're discussing the state of the DCEU.
Jesus Christ.
Let's try to keep this brief, but still kind of hit the meaty points. So DC has announced 3, 5, 7, 10 Joker movies? I don't even know anymore.
What?
They announced a Joker origin movie.
That sigh is like the most version.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to put into words how I feel, because it's just like, what do you got? You guys are giving me whiplash. What do you...
I know we have someone who's kind of an inside man who's kind of, he maintains a positive outlook on this.
It's fine, because like, generally he says stuff where I'm like, okay, I can see where you're coming from.
It's his home team. Let him root for his home team.
Yeah.
But like, from an outsider, this is just completely mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Because they won't even answer straight when it comes to their own continuity. They're like, well, we'll see. I'm like, no. What do you mean we'll see? Like, you need to give us some fucking some answers on this, because you can't drop 2 Joker movie announcements on us and then say they're not connected, and then come back and say they are connected, and then come back and say they're connected.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It generally feels like they're trying to confuse us. Like, they're just like, well, if we make them not sure what the continuity is, they won't hate it as much.
And like, initially people were like, well, no, I think the sources of the news are getting things mixed up. The problem is, I believe, to fucking Warner Brothers' mouth.
Yeah.
And like, this isn't DC doing this. This is Warner Brothers.
This is Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers is the movie. They're the movie people. This is not like Marvel, where Marvel gets to be autonomous and make their own choices. They have. I don't want to keep making these comparisons because it's inevitable. But like, they have a guy. They have a guy that everyone goes to, that all the information comes from, and he's very sure to be out in front of everything when it happens. Like, look what happened with this fucking Spider-Man shit when Amy Pascal was like, well, it's kind of adjunct to each other, and then Kevin Feige's face fucking lit up like he just saw like a ghost.
He was like, oh no, I am not.
And then you could see from 15 feet away, he takes the biggest gulp I have ever seen. A little tennis ball passes through his throat.
I love the whole thing I love about that moment is that Amy Pascal is so sure of herself. She's like, right now.
Wait, is that where said Feige came from?
Yes.
Oh,
it's because they were talking about Homecoming, and
how
Amy Pascal was like, that was basically like, well, we're going to make these movies, and basically dropped like kind of the announcement of Black Cat, Silver Sable, and the Venom movie, and she was like, oh, they kind of happen next to the MCU, like, so Tom Holland, please, and Kevin Feige just looks away, like, he's like, you fool.
And then
it's a look that means 2 things, like, you fool, you let the cat out of the bag, or you idiot, none of this is happening.
Yeah, and then they did like Damage Control a few days later, and he's like, I want you to understand, Tom Hardy will never be in one of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
Tom Hardy may not be in the fucking Sony movie, but that's a different story for a different day. The fucking...
That's what they
the
get.
DC,
fucking assholes.
Fucking assholes.
The most fucking childish yet appropriate answer that I've ever seen directed at Sony. That's what you get, you dummies.
But it's like, okay, I get it. It's Martin Scorsese signing on to do a movie. And it doesn't matter what position on the movie he's in. When he signs on, you announce it, and you make that a story, and you greenlight it. Because it's Martin Scorsese. I get that.
First of all, if I'm going to have him direct anything at all, that's who.
Right, but
he
could handle
that he could handle that entourage very well.
Possibly, yeah.
But like, okay, so you have Suicide Squad 2, then you have Joker and Harley Quinn, then you have a Joker origin movie, which, by the way, why?
Because somebody thinks...
First of all, there's no way. There's no conceivable way to drag out a Joker origin for 2 hours. There's none.
I mean, unless every 10 minutes resets, and you never actually get an origin, and it's basically just like all the scenes
therein
that
lies the
Ledger
problem.
has.
You cannot give a hardcore origin.
No.
It's basically blasphemous.
Yeah.
The entire, like, one of the biggest hooks about his character is like, nobody knows where he came from, but it doesn't matter now. All that matters is he's here now.
Right.
Because he even says, he's like, what I was before this is completely inconsequential. It doesn't matter.
Like, even Killing Joke, the option is left that maybe this is all a lie, too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe everything you're seeing in that book is just the Joker's thumb matter.
In what story does he say, if I'm going to have a pass, I'd prefer it to be multiple choice?
Was it?
Is it Killing Joke or is it Death of the Family?
I think it might be Killing. Actually, no, it is Death of the Family.
Okay. Because it's when in his book and someone's like, oh my god, we have to get the pages of his book because he's been writing it and we'll know about him and the book is just fucking empty. Because Joker's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like, unless this movie ends with a big old gotcha, none of this happened. It's completely unnecessary.
Like Jared Leto walks out on screen and he's like
making a Han Solo movie. We don't fucking need this.
Do you really think Jared Leto's going to come back?
No, they've already said he's not in this.
No, that's the thing. That would be the thing. Like, it's a different Joker. The entire Jared Leto's Joker comes out of nowhere at the end, and he's like, "This is, yeah."
He's Jason Todd. Duh.
God.
God damn it, Hunter.
No, think about how stupid that was before Suicide Squad came out, and then when Suicide Squad came out, I was like, "Oh fuck me! Please let this be Jason Todd."
Yeah,
I would buy that in a heartbeat rather than this fucking purring, grumbling, mumbling, materialistic shithead.
It being Jason Todd makes more sense than him just being some dude.
Some guy who all of a sudden, like, I'm the Joker and I'm mad and I don't have any attachments to anything, but I am now attached to several things.
I like money.
I like money.
Yeah.
I like purple. I like jewelry. I like looking gaudy and tattoos. What?
I like pimping out my girlfriend.
I like cuckolding.
I like.
And then
my
randomly
to make out with a dude. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh my god.
It made no sense.
The only wrinkle of that I found interesting was that, like, without Harlan, no, this should not be a love story because he should not be pining after her. She's an accessory. But the scene where he's laying amongst all of his belongings with a smile drawn on his face, I thought was probably one of my favorite scenes in that movie because it's like there's depth here. If this wasn't like the Joker and Sister Smith, he can have everything, but none of it means a goddamn thing without Harley.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interesting concept, but then it's never followed up on, and there's no elaboration for it, and like their relationship is confusing, and he's barely part of the movie, and there's just a whole other problems that follow along with that.
Yeah. So I wonder why people aren't excited for Harley Quinn and Joker
Also,
movie.
yeah, okay, let's start addressing that. Stop making him an item.
No, stop putting Jared Leto in movies. No,
that too. I mean, there's that.
Well, I don't know.
And apparently
Blade Runner looks pretty good.
Well,
but,
apparently Blade Runner for a few minutes because I saw someone post today about like this new Hollywood trend of marketing Jared Leto. Yeah. Of marketing Jared Leto as a massive part of your blockbuster hit, only to have him have 5 minutes of screen time is fascinating. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's in the first trailer for that movie.
Yep.
And he's been in all of the marketing since. And like the only short film that they did to promote the movie, he's in. So yeah, that's weird.
So and then let's. I mean, also real quick, stop making Harley Quinn and Joker a couple. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's gross. Like
move on to Harley and Ivy.
Most people have already acknowledged the fact that like that relationship is the blueprint of a toxic relationship, and that Joker sees her as a pawn, a tool, and an accessory, and a means to an end. He does not care about her.
Right.
Stop romanticizing these two.
Yeah, move on to
and of all continuities, the Injustice continuity has done more positives for Harley than things.
No, yeah.
She is gone down a different path, and in Injustice 2, she's like, I completely reject the Joker in every sense of the word. She confronts him in a dream, and she's like, no, you're dead. Literally dead to me.
And that was basically Jared Leto's Joker.
Oh, God, yeah. Don't even get me started on that design.
That was better than Jared Leto, though. Let's be real.
It's a bad design, but it's better than the Jared Leto one. But then we have this Flashpoint movie that has a script, a director, and no release date.
Yeah, but this is the thing that keeps on weirding me out. Robert Zemeckis is still in the running for this movie.
Why?
No, that's great.
I mean, that's great, but I'm just surprised.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, it's as surprising as Ron Howard coming to do a Star Wars movie. That's mind blowing to me.
Like when they first initially announced that, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Back to the Future, time travel.
Yeah, okay, I get it. I get why he's on the list of people that you talk to. Yeah, like he's on that list, and he makes complete sense on that list. But now we're months later and still on that list.
It's really weird.
Like, and they haven't added anybody.
Like,
Yeah, and
Well,
like,
the Flash movie has already lost, what, 2 directors and a writer?
Multiple writers.
Yeah.
3 directors if you count, because
Oh, yeah,
Lord and Miller.
Lord and Miller,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, and there were rumors they were coming back, but now they're doing what sounds like Outland, but fun. So that will be.
And then you have the continuous lingering, is Ben Affleck staying or is he not staying? And to this day, no one will step forward and say yes or no.
I love how he refuses to give a straight answer.
And like
Yeah.
all we get is like, oh yeah, I love playing Batman. I'm like, yeah, for how long?
Tell us.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
And then like, you know, the Black Adam movie, the Shazam movie, this Gotham City Sirens movie they want to announce, which it may also feature the Joker. So that's technically 3 films.
The Justice League Dark movie that has a director and seemingly is moving along.
No, Doug Lyman left.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
left.
he left a while ago. We talked about this on the show.
This goes back to something we talked about like last year. There's no plan. And I'm sorry, but to the optimists out there, there's nothing you can say to me to convince me that there is.
No,
There's no plan.
Yeah,
And this
like,
is what happens when you get a bunch of fucking suits who want a creative ship. They don't know what they're doing.
I mean, I love our inside man, but like, you gotta admit to yourself, okay, none of this makes any sense. None of the choices that they're making.
This could jump gun, and maybe there is a plan. But as of right now, looking at it from where we're sitting, let me also put this out there. I don't hate these movies like people think I do. I left Suicide Squad very happy, despite the fact that it's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
I will rewatch Batman vs. Superman all the time because I kind of love it, despite it being a mess. I want these movies to be excellent. I don't want them to be mediocre. And I am excited for Justice League. Justice League has me fucking biting it. 'Cause it looks awesome, but I've also learned to temper my expectations. But the
Yeah.
problem is, Wonder Woman came along, and you're like, oh fuck, they know what they're doing. Like,
Yeah,
So that makes it worse because it's like, where was this? Like,
here's the thing: if Justice League comes out and it sucks, I don't want to beat him up because of the year he's had. It's Zack Snyder's fault. Like,
it's a
You
couple
cho-
people's
you
fault,
chose-
but yeah.
you chose the reason to steer this
and
machine.
you know what? Going back to the year he's had, like, it's not. It's just he's a bad choice for this universe. Like, it's not that he's a bad director. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's.
The problem is they started off too dark, started off too violent, and people were like, "I'm turned off by this." And now they're going like, "Oh, well, Justice League's going to be the turning of the wheel. It's going to brighten up." I'm like, "But is it too little, too late? Did you already scare these people off who are not going to come back?"
Yeah. I mean, the problem is I don't think that they planned on doing a universe initially. I really
don't
don't
think so either.
think they did. Like, I think
Batman vs Superman is knee jerk
yeah.
because it came
But-
out of nowhere. Because
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, "Oh, FC sequels is being talked about, whatever, blah blah blah," and then like I can't remember what Comic-Con it was. They're like, and then they just start reading lines from Dark Knight Returns. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? We're gunning for this already?"
Yeah. It was really weird.
And granted, it got me super excited because I'm like, "Holy shit, this is going to become a reality." And
Yeah.
everyone's like,
Uh-huh.
"Well, why would you want this? You already had Dark Knight Returns, the animated film." I'm like, yeah, that's the animated film. Like, there is a difference.
Yeah.
The animated film can get away with more comic bookiness.
I
And
just
seeing the armored Dark Knight suit in real life and knowing it's like a practical effect is really cool.
yeah. I don't know.
But I think this entire thing is now riding on Wonder Woman's going to make or break it. No, it didn't. It just kind of boosted some optimism. Justice League is where this will break in half or push forward.
Honestly, though, I think Wonder Woman is why we're getting these weird stories. I think that it's directly responsible for that movie is what happens when Warner Brothers trusts a director to make the best movie possible while being truthful to the source
And they
material.
learned the right lessons because they have already hired her for the sequel.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, okay, well, if you're going to tell a Joker origin story and you're gonna treat him based off the Joker that you've already pre-established as a gangster, hiring Martin Scorsese makes sense from that point of view.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense from the larger
it also
character
makes sense
point
to
of
like
view.
hire David Ayer, whose film history is like crime thrillers.
Before you decided to take it away and give it to a trailer company. That made total sense.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know what they're doing now. I really don't know what they're doing. I don't think there is a plan. And that's the problem. Or if there is a plan, it's not that it's just they have one plan. It's that they have backup plans.
Yeah, and let me say this about the opposing side. There's not... The MCU is not problem-free.
No.
Especially at this point, it's been going on for as long as it has. And even people like me, who are diehard, are like, the formula has become very clear.
I'll say this. I'm not going to say this is the worst year for the MCU. I'm going to say this is the least impressive year for the MCU so far.
Yeah, and like Homecoming was like, everyone was like, fuck yeah, we're going to have Spider-Man in the MCU. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Iron Fist happened, and...
I count that as a separate thing because
That's
like
more
Chrometer and stuff like that.
Inhumans happened.
But like,
Which, by the way,
that's
nobody
TV.
is talking about Inhumans at all.
No.
Like when I talk about Marvel, the TV side is a completely separate.
It is.
thing.
It is a different beast.
It's
but like,
a different
but
thing.
people have said, like, even Doctor Strange, which I like the same. It is the same movie
Yeah.
almost every time when it comes to an origin story.
But
It is person kind of starts out shitty, person progressively learns lesson, person becomes better, person fights light in the sky.
2016 was inconsistent. Like Civil War, and it introduced Black Panther, which is more than enough on its own. But Doctor Strange is very much resting on its laurels. It's like, okay, but like for me,
we won't take any risks outside of the visual risks because it has to be bizarre and weird and kooky and trippy.
Yeah.
But plot-wise, someone was like, "It's Iron Man." It is Iron Man.
It is Iron Man.
Yeah,
Like,
and
even Ant-Man is Iron Man.
And then Guardians was just like, here's more of what you liked. Is that good enough?
And you know what's funny? For more than a few, it wasn't.
Yeah.
They were like, I found it underwhelming.
Uh-huh.
You know who had a good 2016 and 2017? Fox.
You know what? That's a say.
That is an
it went for
absolutely
a little
accurate.
film called X-Men Apocalypse. But 2017, you're correct so far.
I was talking about Deadpool.
Fox seems to have basically
Grown balls.
learned lessons. They said, like, what if we kind of take this property and do new and interesting things with it?
Yeah.
Deadpool.
They finally understand with the X-Men, you have to be weird with it. You can't just...
Yeah.
Also, they learned what Warner Bros. Seemingly has learned with Patty Jenkins. If you trust a director who has a vision, do not compromise it.
Yeah. And also, it's like...
Don't fuck with someone's machine. Like, I understand, like, as a studio, you own it. But, like, you people don't make movies. You finance movies. You get people to make movies for you.
Yeah.
Stop making creative decisions. People do not know what you're talking about. I've heard stories about people who turn in scripts to executives, and the notes that come back on them are just, like, world-destroyingly stupid.
Yeah. I've heard about that, too. And
So I think
it's
someone was like,
always
if you watch the
ridiculous.
movie, I can't remember what movie it is. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about scriptwriters. And they tell their stories about, like, working in Hollywood. The stories these people tell will melt your brain.
Yeah.
Like, the story about, I can't remember what her name is. Is it the same woman who directed... no, it's not. It's someone else. The script for Blood Rain for Uwe Boll. And, like, basically she says that Uwe Boll just has no fucking concept of, like, a plan. And was like, she's like, I have a rough draft. He's like, good, if you start shooting tomorrow. She's like, what? She's like, this isn't anywhere near ready. He's like, it's good enough. And then he was like, Michael Bay is a fucking retard, and I'm going to play golf until I'm dead.
That documentary is amazing.
But I don't want businessmen dictating these movies. Granted, it's working out for Star Wars, but for how long? Because I have a bad feeling about this Han Solo movie.
Yeah, I mean...
Real bad feeling.
I like to think that there's a happy medium.
Which is very ironic to say, I have a bad feeling about this, about a Han Solo movie. That is actually hysterical.
I had a bad feeling the moment they announced it, because we don't need a Han Solo.
We don't need it.
Like, Obi-Wan makes sense. It does. It makes
sense.
If I don't get a Mad Max Fury Road ripoff,
that's
just
what I want.
repainted as a Star Wars movie, I'm gonna be very mad.
I want the best parts of Logan, and I want the best parts of Mad Max. Give it to me.
That is an Obi-Wan movie. That's all you have to do.
Give it to me. Inject it into my into my bloodstream.
But
I want a Max Rebo movie.
You want a what?
A Max Rebo movie.
Yes, anything. Like, I get why you do Han Solo. I get it. Okay, completely understand.
Jabba the Hutt movie sounds interesting because I want a crime drama in space. That's awesome. Give that to me.
Yeah, sure. Do it. Go ahead. I mean, will watch it.
Rogue One proves that you can change your formula, and this applies to Marvel and DC. Rogue One to your formula and still find success because Rogue One is not a Star Wars movie. Rogue One is a war movie set in the Star Wars universe.
It's a World War II movie.
Rogue One is mean, brutal, dark, violent, and hopeless.
Yep.
And it's fine the way it is.
And it's enough so that the certain people who went in expecting a Star Wars movie were not happy with it.
Rogue One is a movie you go into and go, nobody is going to live through this.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert,
they don't.
Yeah. And
the other thing is, with, like I said, back to Marvel and DC, like, Marvel's got cracks on their formula. DC, I don't know if has a formula. So, like, everybody kind of needs to share before, like, the naysayers are right and this bubble bursts.
Does DC really look like they have a plan?
No, here's the thing. I think that they are trying to make it... They're trying to move things in a way so that if Justice League fails, if Justice League is a giant bomb, when they decide to just do solo movies from now on, no universe, no team.
I think if Justice League tanks, this universe is dead.
Yeah,
maybe.
If this movie tanks, Ben Affleck finally step out and go, I'm fucking done. I'm not going to be part of this machine anymore.
I can see that. I think that the movies that are still coming out still happen. Wonder Woman 2 still happens, regardless.
Yes.
James Wan has to actually shooting Aquaman, and that film has to be released at this point.
See, that's a movie that coming up from them that I have I'm not worried about it.
No,
because James Wan is a proven fucking success.
Here's the thing about that movie is like they were talking about like how it has elements. I'm like, just fucking do that with Marvel. Like just like
but Marvel will never do that.
No, just make genre movies. Don't make the same movie every time.
I know what you mean.
Marvel, and I think this comes from Marvel, and I will say this about them, and I love these movies. They are fucking terrified to take a risk.
Yeah.
It absolutely petrifies them because they refuse. To their credit, almost, they refuse to deviate from the plan.
True.
Refusing to deviate from the plan, you get this kind of sterile, non-changing movie universe where it's like every once in a while something big happens, but even at the end of Civil War, you're like, everything's fine.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with the
Rhodey's paralyzed, but like he's gonna have some fucking Stark apparatus that makes his legs work. And Tony and Steve are apparently on bad terms, but they're on okay terms now.
If anything is going to fix that, though, it's going to be Infinity War. Infinity
War will hopefully change that bow largely. Although, I will say this, if nobody dies in Infinity War, it will undoubtedly prove that they don't have the nuts to do anything with these characters.
That's a given that someone's going to die, though. Like,
honestly, I'm leaning more towards nobody dies. And I think that they're just like, look, it's clean. Everybody wins. There's it's nothing bad ever happens in this universe. Even when nations get destroyed, it's all hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's a weird direction of the DC, which is the DC side, which is very heavy on destruction and darkness. But like Batman vs. Superman came along, was like, to their credit again, they were like, no, you have to be accountable for all this crap. Like, you can love city and then be like, haha, everything's good. You're like, no, there's cleanup, there's death, there's problems. Like,
yeah. And that was a move that at the time seemed interesting before we actually saw the film. And it actually, we were like, okay, I get it. But the way it actually happened on screen didn't work, I thought. But that's because they added all these other things to it. Yeah. They tried to add this extra level of Lex is messing with things. Lex doesn't need that movie.
That movie is so blown up, they have a fucking magic bullet plotline, okay?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Civil War didn't have the effects that it should have, or like in terms of story and plot and how it moves things forward. It really, you're right, it doesn't. It doesn't move anything forward. And
In a vacuum, it's very interesting. The problem is you go forward, you're like, everything's fine. Like, literally nothing is different.
But and here's the thing, like, I understand why DC is trying to do things differently and not just try to be, and they've kind of been beaten into submission in a way by us telling them that they have to be more like Marvel when they were trying to do something different.
And you know what? And here's the thing. I agree with something said in the Laser Time podcast where one of the hosts said, I am okay with a violent and more deadly DC universe.
Yeah.
That's fine because, like, we talked about Injustice. Look at how well Injustice does for itself. Like, people like that comic series. The video game does well. It's popular. It got good reviews. People like it. And people are okay with its tone because you're like, no, this is separated from, what you're used to. And you want to take your movie universe in that direction, fine. But fix the fucking problems that come along with it.
Mm-hmm. And again, like, it's about competition, and it's about doing something different. What Fox has
and like
realized...
Marvel is so squeaky clean, and then DC's like, Batman's going to kill 30 people on screen. Right,
but they lose the joy of superheroes. Like, Logan has joy in it. It's a sad movie at the end.
Logan is a sad-ass movie that even has some jokes.
It has tons of moments in it that are full of levity. Those moments make the dark moments more impactful.
Yeah.
And like Deadpool is full of levity and full of fun.
Deadpool has
full
one
of
of the
violence
best,
also.
One of the most. Him and Vanessa are really sweet on screen together. Yeah. They have wonderful chemistry.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I'm kind of bummed that they're going to bring in Domino and kind of replace Vanessa, it seems.
No, she's still on the cast. Morena Baccarin or whatever.
Okay. There's like that entire middle section of just them being a couple, I think, is very entertaining and intriguing.
Yeah.
I like them too. And it's weird to have a movie that is so irreverent, repugnant, and humor-filled and sarcastic to have a very sincere love story stuck in the middle of it.
Yeah, I think I said it best with that Deadpool is secretly the sweetest love story you'll ever.
There's a sincere date movie.
Best romantic comedy of that year.
Yes.
I think doing something different is what you need to do and what they need. And doing something different challenges Marvel to do better.
Yes. Here's the thing. Competition is good for everybody. Mm-hmm. It was good for the wrestling business. Then competition died. The wrestling business lost almost all mainstream appeal. Ratings tanked. Live show attendance went down, and it's been stuck in that position ever since because there's no reason to try. There's no one coming up against you, and there's probably no one ever going to come up against that company because they are such a behemoth, and they have so effectively destroyed any competition. That's it. They've effectively monopolized the industry.
Yeah. I mean, and we can go back to comics. Before Marvel came onto the scene, comics, they weren't dying. They were still doing well, but DC wasn't what it was at certain various points in the past. It wasn't nearly what it was.
They were doing like Dance Comics and like...
And it was like Superman and Batman are like having fun and like going to the beach and shit. Yeah. And that was DC Comics at the time. But then Fantastic Four comes out, and Johnny Storm and the Thing don't like each other. So, what the fuck is his name?
Reed.
I can't remember. Sue and Reed. I was trying to remember his first name. Or no, that is his first name.
The real villain?
Yeah, the real villain. But like Sue and Reed are almost always they're like one step away from getting divorced.
They are awful.
And the whole team is they're issue to issue. They're always getting eviction notices.
Right. That changed things.
I think Reed is just a shitty husband. Like,
well, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But like Marvel comes along and like there's this sense of like reality to their characters, and suddenly it's not just going to the beach and having fun, and or going to Hawaii and Batman wearing his suit.
It's
underneath.
It's people having to register their identities after a fucking school full of kids get blown up. That's some real shit.
Yeah, it's like real things.
The
And
Civil War,
guess-
there's people who are like, don't bring politics into comic
Yeah.
books. I'm like, first of all, wrong. They've always been influencing comics. And like, Civil War is one of the most frighteningly realistic comic book stories I've ever seen. It's comic booky and dumb at times.
Yeah.
But like, you're like, this is the Patriot Act on steroids.
Yeah.
Yep. And then even Winter Soldier, the movies,
Yeah.
by invasion of privacy and monitoring everything you do and keeping tabs on you and taking out threats before they are a problem, which is not how you win at war.
Which was copied for the plot of Spectre. But
And War II.
But to my point, DC had to change as a result of all this. One of the first things that happened is the hard traveling hero storyline,
By with Danny O'Neill and Neil Adams.
which is widely regarded as one of the great lines in all of DC Comics.
Neil Adams is a god.
Like,
But yeah, competition, like, both sides have to be doing
yeah,
as good or better than the other for this to, and even I think people from both sides have said, like, no, competition is good. Like, we like the fact that they exist. We like the fact they're making these movies. It's healthy for us because we have something to strive for.
yeah,
The problem is, like, it's so fucking one-sided right now.
yeah. It really,
And
really
the issue
is.
DC Brothers, I'm not going to keep saying DC because this is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers dragged their feet. Like, Marvel was like, we have a cinematic universe planned, and we're gonna see through this plan. And like, there were hiccups, like the Hulk thing, the entire fallout with Paramount, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The Disney buy, everyone was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen with this? Luckily, nothing. But like,
yeah, so Marvel's been mostly on track, though.
Warner
and-
Brothers decided to bring back Superman, and all of a
which
sudden
made
we're like,
sense.
you know what? This is a turning point. And everyone was
Yeah.
kind of like, what? It is? Like,
I
you're
mean,
not gonna take any time, like, building this up? Like, you're going to run right into, here's the big three.
yeah. Yeah, I understand it, though. Like, because back to 12, Christopher Nolan wasn't going to let them do Batman. Not his Batman.
Yeah.
Never. Like, there's a version of the world where Christian Bale Batman meets a Superman, and in my head it's always been, it's like the Night Superman. Like, he leaps small buildings and stuff, but he can't fly or has laser vision. But that's not what people would have wanted to see.
Nope. No, it's, and I think, and I've said this before, the effect is still ringing loudly. Like, everyone's like, nah, it's got to be a dark reboot, and everything has to be gritty and realistic. Like, look at the fucking Fantastic Four reboot. Look at that disaster.
I look forward to the day where the words dark and gritty don't show up in news stories about new movies.
And
that
like,
are
to
announced.
I know everyone hates this, but even he has said, not everything has to be a dark and gritty reboot. Stop with these buzzwords.
Yeah, it gets a little bit annoying.
Like, there was no reason for Batman vs Superman to be as like a glean as it was. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Oh my god, my mommy.
I should have killed you already, or whatever. Yeah, I'll take you without breaking you. Like,
It's just like, it's like, come on, you two are fucking, like, I know you as buddies.
Yeah.
Even, I'm gonna bring up Injustice again. Even when they are at the point where they have literally fought over the direction of the planet, they come together in Injustice and have some of the most sincere and heartbreaking confrontations I've ever seen. End of the story mode of Injustice 2, they're about to fight, and Superman just goes, I remember the day I told you Lois was pregnant. And they have a short conversation about talking about the baby that he would have had. And they're both like, I miss the people we were, and then they fight. And you're like, that sucks.
yeah, I mean, like, Allan knows this, and Hunter knows this, and Connor knows this. But if you haven't read the comics, Superman has the opportunity to change things. There's a machine that allows him to rewrite reality. He could have used it for anything. He could have brought his dad back. He could have brought Krypton back. Anything from through. He could have done anything. He could have changed anything. You know what he chose to do? He chose to bring Batman back into existence. He chose
are you
to
talking
bring...
about Final Crisis?
Yes, or what is it Crisis where he brings him back? What where he brings him back? He gets into this machine that allows him to rewrite reality. And that's how Superman comes back to life. Or not Superman, Batman. That's how Bruce comes back into existence.
No,
Because-
That is the Bruce Wayne or the Return of Bruce Wayne storyline.
Yes, but that's what he chooses to do. Again, he could have chosen anything. Superman has had a lot of
because despite circumstances, they are friends. They in Injustice, like they acknowledge like we have a past together that is unerasable. It's irrefutable. Like that's never going to change. And then, but I was reading Irredeemable. It hit me. I was like, I kind of see why people, because I like Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is perfectly, and like I said, I kind of like Batman vs Superman. But I kind of see where people are like, we don't want this from Superman. We don't want this flaky, unreliable, kind of selfish, as you have said, Randian hero. It's kind of it's off-putting. Now I see it better than I did before because like reading the Plutonian and Irredeemable, you're like, he is horrifyingly evil. He burns people's faces for fun. He's vaporizing people and laughing the whole time. It's not saying that Superman and Man of Steel or Batman or Superman is like that, but like he seems like he is one push away from being really shitty. And like Flash even implies that in BVS. He says Lois is the key. And this is right after Batman has the premonition about Superman taking over the world.
Yep.
Nobody wants that. Like, we have Injustice. That's fine. Don't put it on the screen. Like, please stop making Superman a douchebag.
Yeah.
Because, like, in BVS, like, when he runs and saves Lois in Afghan, Iraq, or whatever fucking made-up Middle Eastern country. Whatever. Yeah, sure.
Right after Jimmy is killed off screen.
He first of all, he could have gone down there and settled the entire order from the word go.
Yeah.
And only shows up to save Lois. And he saves Lois by splattering a crime lord through 15 walls. Don't tell me he didn't kill that guy. He murdered the shit out of that guy.
And
he is so dead.
Our justification is he's a terrorist.
Who was the person involved in BVS that admitted that it shouldn't have been that way? Was it Affleck?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think he signed on for a different movie.
Affleck has been very vocal. I think recently he came out and said, like, I understand the criticism towards that movie. He's like, they make sense.
Also, Ben Affleck played a good Superman, too.
Oh, okay.
In Hollywoodland.
In BVS, when in the theatrical cut is the most incriminating, I think. Hang on, let me take a sip of water. My mouth's drying out.
Yeah, because you're cutting a goddamn promo.
The theatrical, the what is it? Congress, Senate.
Yeah.
Senate, Congress blows up. In the theatrical cut, Superman looks sad and flies away.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop to help a single person.
He has that like just like
he basically goes, "Oh man," and then just
Q Curb Enthusiasm
in the ultimate cut. In the ultimate cut, it shows him carrying, I think, at least one person to safety. Then he looks at the body count, and he's so upset by it. That's why he flies away, because he failed. Yeah, that is more in line with what I want to see. I don't want to see him just like I said, flaky and unreliable. Something happens, he just fucking quits and goes and talks to Ghost Dad, who then tells him, "Hey,
you should let horses die, Clark.
Hey, nothing you do matters. Bad shit's gonna happen. I'm a terrible dad.
It's okay to let horses die, Clark. Sometimes horses drown."
You could have saved me from that tornado with anybody knowing any difference, but I'm gonna die.
Let those children die, Clark.
That's my favorite. John Kent is a douchebag moment. Should I have let those kids die? Yeah, fuck them.
No. The exact line was, "I don't know, maybe."
He just said maybe.
God.
Or it's maybe, I don't know, one of those.
But more to the point of like the state of the DCEU is that it's not dead, but it's in disarray.
It is.
And they need to find a direction for this ship, or like it's just going to lose momentum and fall apart. And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't want the ship to sink. I want it to fucking go forward. I grew up liking Marvel Comics, and now as an adult, I'm like, fuck yes, DC all the way. Give me this shit.
I don't think. Okay, so here's the thing. That's the thing about this. Even if it does sink, what do we know is going to happen? Patty Jenkins will make Wonder Woman movies until she's like 80.
Matt Reeves will make a new Batman without Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and that's just going to happen. The Matt Reeves movie, whether it's part of the DCEU or not, it's going to happen. Again, this James Wan Aquaman movie is going to happen, and it'll either be an aberration or that movie hits pay dirt. There's 100 of them.
And maybe, okay, if this ship starts to sink now, and they just start to do solo movies,
yeah,
and they have a new set of actors, they can kind of, like a Robert Downey Jr., who's not going to go anywhere as long as you keep throwing paychecks at him. Even Chris Evans, who's like, I want to retire from acting and be a director. They're like, do you want to do one more? He's like, oh, fine.
Yeah. And they're like, for this one, we'll just CG your face onto a buff dude.
Yeah, and like, if you want to get a stable of actors who won't go away, then do solo movies for a while. And then pull the fucking carpet out from underneath and be like, oh yeah, by the way, Justice League 2.0.
Yeah, I don't think here's the thing. I think if they decide to let it go, they'll just let it go forever. Like, I get to see a world where they reboot Superman again, and they don't care about continuity other than movie to Superman movie, and they just keep on making movies that are unrelated to each other, and they
they do solo movies until you do a Justice League movie, and then just like that's it. That's your one-off.
Yeah, maybe.
Some
maybe George Miller gets to make his Justice League movie.
Oh god,
like
Miller. Romero's dead.
I think he did say Miller.
No,
yeah,
he said Romero.
That's what I said.
You miss her.
I said Miller.
And be careful. And be careful because George Miller's 70s put it in the air like that.
But yeah, the George Miller version that has been sitting on a desk for 10 years now, or sitting in probably some Warner Brothers executive's old office that he doesn't use anymore, sitting in a file folder.
And I really hope that before he dies, because it's going to happen sooner than later, that George Miller gets to make a DC movie because it's just like there's no debating it. It's just going to be perfect. Okay?
I mean,
it'll flawless action film.
if Justice League does make money, and you do decide to continue on with this universe thing, and you maybe just say, let's just do whatever Jeff Johns says, which maybe is a bad idea because he's not a movie guy, but whatever. Let's just go with Jeff Johns. And you do make it to a Justice League 2, hire George Miller and just reuse the script that you already have sitting there.
Here's the thing. Warner Bros. Has already seen what happens when you take George Miller and maybe possibly inadvertently let him off the leash and suddenly he absconds with $200 million off to the Nambi Desert and makes a fucking pyrotechnic show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that man
Oscar nominations
knows how to fucking make a movie.
Yeah.
It's all he should ever do. Even though I think after Thunderdome, he was like, I think something happened where like his assistant director or somebody he knows like daughter died in a drunk driving accident. He's like, I'm good in the violence for a while.
Yeah.
But like that man is an underman of his craft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's a problem.
What?
The writer of Justice League Immortal, that script?
Mm-hmm.
Dave Goyer.
No. The writer of...
That doesn't mean anything, honestly.
Those two things are two things I would never connect in
Is
my
it Dean
lifetime.
Devlin?
Kieran Mulroney.
Storm.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't mean anything then.
Again, we watched Geostorm for the podcast.
No. I'm using my one veto card for no, even if you guys all vote against me.
I'm also not going to see Geostorm because fuck that dumb shit.
I'd say pay to go see it.
Okay, well that's different.
I don't even want to steal it. Like, after seeing Independence Day Resurgence, I was like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine forever. No more Roland Emmerich-esque movies. That guy should be in movie jail.
I just want to say something funny with the Justice League Immortal cast.
I mean, what else is there to say?
They're all way too old to play the people they are supposed to play.
But
DJ as Superman.
Yeah, he's a good pick.
Armie Hammer as Batman.
I'm still clinging to that one. That one still needs to be reality.
Megan Gale as Wonder Woman.
Fun fact about her: she was in Fury Road.
Yep, she's the naked chick. That's what she means.
Adam Brody from the OC as Barry Allen.
Yeah,
that name means nothing to me.
Common as Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
See, that's the only one where I'm like, no.
There's more.
Fuck no.
Santiago Cabrera as Aquaman. Hugh Keyes, Byrne.
Who was Immortan Joe and Toe Cutter from Venom's.
Yeah, he was going to
And
play...
that dude is a very underrated actor. That dude's got fucking presence.
He was going to play Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Zoe Kazan as Iris Allen, a.k.a. or Zoe Kazan in The Big Sick. Jay Baruchel as Maxwell Lord. Yeah, that's the weak part. And Teresa Palmer as Talia al Ghul.
Ooh, I like Teresa. She's like plucked from an alternate universe where Kristen Stewart was not terrible at the start of her career.
Yeah.
She looks just like... Let's start to wrap this up then, because this is our longest episode ever.
I was going to say.
Here.
But I'm going to say something about that Teresa Palmer casting. If that happened today, the reaction to that.
Who is she playing again?
Talia al Ghul.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, people would freak the fuck out about that.
I like Teresa Palmer, but like that is like a Central Asian / Middle Eastern descent. Like I don't really know where race is supposed to be from. Not white. I can say that much. Like his whole family's not white.
Well, that's the thing. Talia's mom is definitely not white, whether he is white or not.
Yeah,
her mom is definitely like heavy Middle Eastern.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
I'm still thinking about the Ra's al Ghul from Young Justice Abridged.
Okay. The point is,
we're differing.
You could take that script that 10 years ago apparently good enough to greenlight a movie.
I forgot. I didn't say how much money they were going to give. They were giving George Miller. They were giving him $300 million.
That's not surprising. It's not surprising. Disney had just given Gore Verbinski the same amount for the Pirates movie, so it completely makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, but like you could just take that script and adapt it for what DC Universe is.
Didn't Man of Steel basically take ideas from the J.J. Abrams Superman script that's been lying around the internet for God knows how long?
It took things from every Superman script that had been written in the last 20 years.
Batman Begins took from the abandoned Batman 4, which was going to feature Scarecrow. Like, it happens all the time.
And even an early version of Batman 3. Because originally that was going to be...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Okay, there's Batman Returns Forever. Batman 5.
Yeah, Batman Forever was also going to be, like, prequel-y, though, also.
Yes.
Apparently. Like, there were going to be, like, extensive flashback scenes to young Bruce. And that's why Michael Keaton initially was signed on. It was thought that they were going to go into his origins and stuff. So...
And then he realized what was happening, and he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. But yeah, like, they always use stuff. Like, I guarantee some of the Joss Whedon script from 2006, 2007-ish is probably in Patty Jenkins' movie. Some of it, at least. There are definitely elements that the specs at the time probably took.
Can I say it's still bizarre to hear that he came in to do reshoots on Justice League? It's head-spinning.
Yeah, I get it, though.
Only because, like, if this whole competition thing didn't exist, it wouldn't be an issue. But it's like, the guy who directed 2 of the competition's biggest movies is coming to your side to help finish your biggest movie. That is nuts.
Yeah, but if you look at it objectively, the director with the biggest movies in this genre ever is not working for the other side anymore, and he said that he will work for anybody who's willing to pay him money. So what do? Hire him?
Yeah.
Like, that's always been my thing, like, why not?
It's like J.J. Abrams directing both Star Trek and Star Wars. It's like, I mean, he's capable, so why the fuck not?
Yeah, he's done it before. Like, that's what some people don't get, and I'm like, why don't you understand this? Success breeds success.
Yeah, how do you think, what's-his-face, Colin Trevorrow got the Star Wars movie to begin with? Because Jurassic World made a fuck ton of money. The The problem is,
Yeah.
it's not that good of a movie. Apparently, it went to his head, and he became a big old douchebag. And the Book of Henry came out, and fucking Lucasfilm was like, haha, no.
Yeah. Like, he won't be directing a Star Wars movie anytime soon, but he might direct, like, a Godzilla movie at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's-
okay, yeah,
let's
we're
wrap
going
this up.
way over long.
This has been a very long,
we're-
great episode.
Over 2 hours, nearly 2.5 hours.
Yeah, this is
I'm
our
a-
longest episode ever.
I might cut this one in half.